It was day 41 of learning OpenGL to make my game engine. And today I was able to actually implement a cube. However, there's a slight problem right now. The problem I think it is it's going through the projection matrix and it's actually transforming it to give the idea of perception. However, what's happening is that the depth buffer, or how basically it's dividing and the z value it's obtaining and it's actually being drawn on the screen, is not being changed. So relative to whatever point is forward or closer to you, you're always just going to see that, or it's always going to be drawn over another vertex. So just say, for instance, this one going around right here, it's going to be end up being drawn over all the other ones. Yeah, as you can see right there. And as well, I just ended up putting this little cube around here, this little square. This is eventually going to become a grid, so tomorrow hopefully I can actually implement the grid. I basically made a cube, let me see, a cube class right here. This is basically a .cpp file. It contains all the implementation of how the triangle is loaded and how the object is drawn. And then I was also making a grid.cpp file. And this grid.cpp file is basically just going to show and just end up displaying the grid on the screen, which is currently those 4 little lines. So that's what I've been doing. And then I also added to the object.h file right here. I ended up setting the width and the height, and I added it to the constructors, and as well as I gave them a default value so they could be initialized to 1.0f, so the width and everything is scaled at the most basic level, which is just 1. And then if you want to provide a width and a height and scale the actual object, then you can do that there. So hopefully tomorrow I can actually implement more of the grid system rather than just having that little square line on the screen, as you can see right here. So I can actually give perception to things, and I can see how far something is relative to the grid, or what's going to be the grid is the actual world. So when I place an object, it's going to have a concrete spot that it stays in, and it's not just moving around randomly on the screen. Because right now, you can't really tell if like what's technically moving or not. Like it's kind of just an invisible area. But yeah, that was basically day 41, and then hopefully tomorrow I can implement the grid.